touching anything.
Okay.
Don't touch Mel.
Okay, I started streaming. You can check yourselves. Mari, can you check
I don't see
on the
it. The
channel?
streamer, but let me check. Oh yeah, now you're live. Let me check that.
You can check
Oh, it's
yourselves.
cool.
Mari, can you check
Yeah. I don't see
on the
it.
channel?
Oh, let me mute mine. Okay.
All right. Mel, can
Yes.
you like inscribe on our channel on YouTube and you
Okay.
and let
Let me
me
give you her
uh,
link.
and I will check here if it appears. I'm still programming uh, this
Okay.
stuff here.
I'm gonna open YouTube on a different computer.
Yeah. You don't forget to mute there as well.
No,
Right?
just you can you can do that later as well. Don't need to be now.
No?
No,
É o
don't
pessoal
worry.
do Instagram. Já juntaram, tem 4 pessoas lá já. Nós vamos começar às 8, ok? Estamos fazendo a setagem para quem está assistindo já. Vamos começar a entrevista com a Mel às 8 horas. Guardem mais alguns minutinhos. Okay. Everything seems great. Congrats for Nicholas.
I
Woo!
will
Ai, siga. Okay, so
All right.
you
Hello, guys. Welcome to InspiraMente. This is our second live since the first one was myself presenting, being interviewed by Mari. And this will be a little different since it will be all in English. So on YouTube later, you guys can check the subtitles. But for now, our guest is Mel, and Mel is comes from Britain, right? And she's actually now living in Brazil, and we will be knowing a little bit more about her story, about her life, and you already you might not know, but Mari is also our, how do you say,
host,
interviewer, host, yes, our
host of
other
interview.
host, and we'll be conducting this talk show. I don't know how you would call this, but
Yeah, o
yeah, we'll be
podcast,
here.
vídeo.
Our podcast, yeah.
Bem-vindos, pessoal do Instagram que está assistindo a gente. Meu nome é Mariana. Estamos aqui com o Nick, né, o meu co-hosting. E nossa convidada de hoje é a Mel. Para quem não conhece, nosso canal chama InspiraMente e ele foi formado recentemente com o intuito de contar histórias de pessoas que superaram fases difíceis da vida, pessoas que se consideram com sucesso, assim, né? Lembrando que sucesso não está só relacionado a dinheiro, a status, mas sim como você se sente por dentro, né? Como você está. Esse é o sucesso que nós consideramos sucesso interior, né? É quando a gente passa por situações difíceis, por fases difíceis, quando a gente alcança algum dos nossos sonhos e queremos, através desse canal, inspirar pessoas que estão aí, que às vezes desanimadas, acham que tudo tá dando errado na vida, né? E nossa história hoje é sobre a Mel. Ela vai contar um pouquinho de tudo que ela passou na vida dela e poxa, eu assim tiro o chapéu para Mel porque ela é uma das poucas pessoas que eu pude conhecer que teve uma história assim, parece que saiu de um livro, sabe? E bom, vamos ouvir tudo. Infelizmente ou felizmente será em inglês a entrevista, porque ela é nativa inglesa da língua, né? E como é um tópico muito profundo, ela se sente mais confortável em estar contando em inglês. Depois nós vamos estar colocando aí a legenda, né? Para quem não está muito bom em inglês. E deixaremos o contato da Mel aí também, que ela é professora de inglês, para quem quer aprender mais. Ela sabe ensinar muito bem.
Nice link.
E conhecer ambas as línguas. Fica aí também. So Mel, let's start hearing a little bit about you.
Who is Mel?
Who is Mel? So I was born in a little country called Wales.
Oh.
It does exist. It is a real country. Yes, before you say it doesn't exist, it does. I was born there. 1969, so I'm a 60s child, just about.
Seis crianças?
No,
Six child?
No, 69.
69?
I was born in 1969.
Okay.
So, no, I have no children. So, I was born in Wales, 1969, to a woman called Iona and a man called Edwin, my parents. And my story basically revolves around one of my parents, my mother. So my mother was, she no longer is alive. So she was, I don't remember the actual specific terminology, but it's something to do with psychotic and schizophrenic tendencies. Now, I'm not sure of the actual terminology. I mean, I've never really found it very interesting.
Right.
Research on mental health. But yeah, so her illness, I would call it, was quite severe.
Mm-hmm.
So she would have things called nervous breakdowns on a regular basis. Okay, it's like every year maybe she would have a nervous breakdown, and these nervous breakdowns would manifest themselves in very strange and very weird ways. So we sort of became famous in our little town for her behavior being so strange.
Mm-hmm.
And she was an incredibly violent person as well.
Right.
So I have two sisters. We grew up in an environment where you didn't really know what was going to happen next, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was
Like
very
next day, you
unpredictable.
didn't know what would happen next day, right?
You don't know what from one moment to the next. You don't know, but because she was incredibly manipulative, she
Wow.
could turn like this on a click. So when the police used to come because of something was happening, she would be like the devil to us in the house, and then open the door and be like, "Hello, officer. Would you like a cup of tea?" It was like that, right? And she'd say, "Look, no, nothing's happening. These children, oh, the children, oh, it's the neighbors. The neighbors are crazy. No, don't worry about them, you know." And then they would go away, and then came out
Wow.
just like that, right?
Sudden shift.
Yeah. So we were always in the background going, "No, no, no, it's not okay. It's not okay. She's crazy."
Oh,
But did you manage to talk to the police anytime? Sometimes
Not really. No.
she would, how do you say, block you from speaking to the
Yeah, well, so there was
police.
once I remember when the social services came around, and she'd lined us all in the hallway, and I was supposed to copy what my sister said, and she was supposed to copy what my older sister said.
Mm,
So obviously we were all uh, full of fear all the time. Fear, fear, fear. So if we didn't do something that she told us to, well, you can guess what would happen, right? So
yeah.
it was fear and manipulation and sort of not knowing what was best for us, really. We were only kids, you know, I was 3 when my father left. My
mhm.
other sister was 6, and my oldest sister was 9. So at,
So young.
after that, I mean, I was telling Marianne before, I don't really remember, um, any good times with my mother. I don't
Mm.
remember ever having a conversation with
An
her or
affection from her
no,
part.
no, nothing.
Um, I'm going to just translate a few things before we
Sure.
proceed. A Mel está dizendo aí que ela nasceu em Wales, né, que faz parte da Grã-Bretanha, e lá, assim, ela viveu num ambiente dentro da casa dela, onde a mãe, ela tinha traços ali de ou psicopatia ou esquizofrenia, né? Ela é, não, não tá tão certa quanto ao termo, mas
Both.
both, talvez os dois, né? Tanto de psicopatia quanto de esquizofrenia. E ela, assim, quando, por exemplo, os policiais iam na casa dela, às vezes podia a mãe estar batendo ali nas filhas e o policial aparecia e ela virava assim, oh, pois não, posso ajudar, ou, né? Policial, tem algum problema acontecendo? Como se nada tivesse acontecendo, né? Como se ela tivesse sendo a melhor mãe do mundo ali com os filhos. Então, assim, não é algo muito comum, né, assim, de se ver nas famílias, né? Pelo menos assim, né, o que a gente considera uma família, né, com os pais, né? Geralmente é assim, né? Os pais cuidam dos filhos, querem o bem dos filhos. E no caso da Mel, a gente já pode ver que é um pouco pouco diferente, né?
É. Tem um termo, né, para essa pessoa que ela muda de humor muito rapidamente também, né? Como que é o nome? É dupla
Dupla,
personalidade?
quando ela muda.
Schizophrenic.
Schizophrenic, né?
Yeah. So she
Hum.
could change. She could make. She was very good at acting.
Wow, good act.
So
That's
yeah.
scary.
So very. It was like one personality in one moment, and then switch back. So when we were given the opportunity to speak to someone, we didn't tell the truth.
Oh,
Why?
Don't ask me why.
okay.
Oh, why
Yeah.
Fear.
not? Fear of your mother, right?
Yeah, fear. If we didn't say
Oh,
what she told us to say, that it would have been a terrible couple of days for all of us.
so basically, it was already terrible every day.
Yeah.
But even though it was terrible, it could become worse depending of
Oh yes.
really
Oh yes, yes,
how
yes, yes.
how is it possible? How could it become worse?
Well, well, on a day to day, it was with using her hands, but
Spanking.
then then she would move on to using some kind of kitchen equipment, if you know what I mean. So
Oh.
Some
you
torturing
prefer you
tools
prefer
from the
slap with the hands or with the hands or something from the kitchen.
Like a knife?
Yes, I have a few scars, shall we say? But I don't know. I mean, I think I the thing was that what I found very strange about Wales in the late 70s and early 80s is that mental illness was just not a thing. It just was. It did not exist. The people in the hospital knew me and my oldest sister. For some reason, my middle sister was left alone.
Left
My middle
alone?
sister, yeah, my middle sister's a very strange human being as well. She was also quite vindictive. Well, she is still alive, but I don't have anything to do with her. I only have my older sister, who I am in contact with. Which I think is why it's easy for me to emigrate to another country, because I don't have that
streams of
home,
connection.
family, feeling connected. I've never really felt that I belonged anywhere, really.
Oh.
I've always felt that I wasn't going to live this long. I'm still surprised that I'm actually over 50 and I've made it this long. I still wake up every day. I'm like, oh, surprise.
But the most surprising part is that from what I'm seeing, you're a lively person. You are a cheerful person, despite
Yes.
having really bad childhood.
Yeah. I think, I mean, obviously, I was 15 when I had to leave because it had got to a point where I was there by myself. My other two sisters had left already, and I was sort of alone with her, and so all of the aggression was just on me.
You were
So,
Before it
yeah,
was split, and then
yeah,
after,
between me and my older sister. She
and your
used to
middle
get
sister as well, right?
no,
No?
nothing. No, I don't know what went on there, but
Your
it was
middle
very
sister wasn't spanked,
no, no.
really? Or
Yeah,
maybe you
she
didn't see her.
no, she wasn't. No, she would be standing in the corner, um, like instigating my mother
Mm.
to go for me and my older sister.
Oh, she would instigate your
Yeah,
mother to
this is my
beat
sister's face. Yeah,
both of
Mm.
both you and your older
yeah,
sister.
yeah. She
Really?
was a
So she
little bit
was
the
protected
same.
by your mother,
Yeah,
Interesting.
No, she was. There was not. The thing is, I would say, is that if my mother just had a mental illness, I would have still had some feelings for her. But there was an element of evil. You know, there was something else happening that wasn't just mental illness, because I've met people with mental illnesses and they're lovely people. But there was something else going on. We always used to say she's made a pact with the devil. She would always use the Bible. The Bible was a big thing for her. She would, underline things and preach, read from the Bible about the devil and 666 and Genesis.
So she liked devil? She liked to talk about the devil, about this.
Yes, she
this
did.
number.
All 666 and the mark of the beast and the devil this and once what
And what about
you wouldn't even believe, right? I'll tell you this little story. One morning we all woke up and we went to the bathroom and she had made the toilet into a shrine.
Wow.
With Bibles and candles and like all the toilet paper was like draped around like this.
Wow.
And we were like, and honestly, sometimes these things used to make us laugh so hard.
I would be scared, actually.
What is that?
I came to pee. What is happening?
What the hell is this now? All right, let's go down this little journey. Let's see where this takes us, shall we? So we're like, so the toilet then not getting used today, or what's happening?
You go to pee and there's a can over there. What?
Yeah. And she's like, no, you have to pray to the toilet, the gods of the toilet.
Wow. Suddenly.
Yeah. So those are the kind of things that you would regularly sort of think, okay, this is going to be a weird day. So what used to annoy me was when we used to go to the hospital and the hospital knew us, like, hi Mel, what happened today? I'm like, well, this. And they just used to treat us and then let us go back.
Wow. Right. Even though you had some scars and...
Yeah, my nose, they had to cauterize.
Wow.
Now it can't, because he used to bleed, she smacked it so much, he used to bleed all the time.
Oh my God.
So one time, usually I could, do that and it would stop. But it used to bleed when I was sleeping in bed.
You were saying that
blood on my pillowcase.
You told everything to the people of the hospital and they just
they just
did
knew
nothing.
They just knew.
Like it's common thing. Like this is common, and so we'll treat you and you can go back to.
Yeah. We'll see you in a week.
I think it was a scary
See you next week. See you tomorrow, maybe.
Tomorrow, maybe, yeah.
Wow.
So that was very confusing for me because I always thought that anyone in the medical field were kind and caring and they should care about you. But I was like, no, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Yeah, but then, I mean, in hindsight, looking back at it now, I'm grateful that we had a house to live in, and we weren't put into a children's home, because the children's home was also, a horrible place to be. So in the end, I think, well, at least, I had my two sisters and we all stayed together and we all lived in a house and we didn't live in a horrible, what would you call it? Something where you're just a number, you're not even a person. There was a lot of abuse.
Yeah.
in children's homes in North Wales, because where I grew up was North Wales, and the naughty kids from Manchester and Liverpool, London would all go to these homes in North Wales.
Oh, I see.
And then there was a great big scandal about how they were treating these kids in these homes at the same time. So now I'm thinking, okay, it was bad, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as like living in one of those.
Well, for
Yeah.
from my point of view, it was really bad. I think for most people was really bad. And even though you still find reasons to be grateful, at least I had a house. At least I had
Yes,
what to eat. Right? At least
yes, exactly.
I'm still alive.
Yeah, I went to
The next
school.
day.
Yeah,
Great.
I
So,
went to school every day. I even managed to pass some exams. Very proud of
it's
myself.
amazing.
I
That's
know I got
amazing.
high in O levels. I couldn't believe it, really. So I mean that's the general idea of what happened until I was 15.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
on
But
this,
what the funny part is that your mother then used it to be Catholic, was to be faithful to
no,
something.
no, I don't think she was. I mean, she pretended to be religious.
Oh,
Mhm.
so she just pretended to.
Yeah,
She didn't actually believe uh, in what was written in the Bible, but she
no,
she
no.
only
She would
read
take
the
all the
devil
horrible
parts.
stuff, yeah, and then underline it with a,
Oh, I
and
want to
leave them
see
open.
the devil parts only,
Yeah,
and so she
yeah,
would read only that part.
yes,
Yes.
Oh.
yes.
Mel, how did you feel when your sisters left and left you, like left you behind? How did you
Uh,
feel like that?
well, I don't know really. I just thought, well, I'll just get on with it. What can I do? I can't do
Mm.
anything. I just get on with it. And I used to go to school, but my teachers were very, very supportive, and they would take me into their
Mm.
little offices and, how are you doing, Mel? Are you okay? I'm like, well, woo-hoo. Last night was a bit. I didn't do my homework. I'm like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about your homework. It's fine. So they were a little bit more relaxed with me, but I never took advantage of it. For me, it was just like it's normal life. You don't know any different until you
Right.
move out. You don't know that all uh, parents don't treat their kids like this. You think everybody does, right?
Yeah. So you will find this kind of support, caring support from outside, right?
From the teachers, yeah. So when sometimes we would be in a classroom and then the history teacher would come in and say, "Okay, Mel, get your stuff. Uh, you know, you're not going home today. You're coming to our house." And then obviously we knew that something had, you know, gone on.
Mm.
So we were like, they would take us to their homes until some like a couple of hours had passed. I think probably what it was that the ambulance or they were trying to get her into a straitjacket or something, and it's something that they didn't want the children to see.
Oh.
So I mean, another thing that has always stayed in my mind that I just can't sort of wrap my head around why anyone would do this. But once when because you were only allowed to go into a mental institution for 30 days.
Oh.
Then that because this is involuntary. When you were put in there involuntarily, you could only be there for 30 days, right? Because she
Right.
didn't have any mother or father or everybody, all her next of kin was us.
Mm-hmm.
So we used to, sometimes she would go there for 30 days and we would like run around the house going, yes, happy days. And all our neighbors would be laughing and bringing us presents and cakes and are you okay? And checking up on us every day. And we're like, yes, everything's fine. And
Oh.
then, that would end. And then, ooh, and then, but when she used to come home in those times,
Mm-hmm.
she was so heavily sedated with lithium, I think.
Oh.
And she used to rock like this and slobber, and those times we used to poke poke her,
Poking
push her around, bit of slap across the cheek.
her alive.
Don't judge me. You know, it was those. We only had like a couple of days where we could just like,
Revenge.
you know, tick. So then one of these times when she was in one of the mental institutions, I think it's called Denby, a beautiful old building, gorgeous, lovely green lawn. I used to remember how clean and tidy, and I can even remember the smell of the place. It was
Wow.
weird, yeah. It was like the smell of mental illness. I don't know. I know it sounds weird. It's like a sweet, like I don't know. It's like a mixture of like rice pudding, a pudding, and bleach. It's weird.
Wow.
Weird
So
smell,
weird.
yeah. And so I remember walking down this corridor, and I was like holding someone's hand, and then they stopped at the door of one of these rooms, and they picked me up, so I could look through this little window in the door at my mother in a padded cell in a straitjacket.
Wow. Really,
Why?
really.
Now that I didn't need to see that.
Oh.
That image is it makes me shake even now. I think about it. It makes me like is like that image when she sort of looked at me and I looked at her and I was like, oh my god, like this little, I don't want to see that. Really, that really damaged me more than anything else. I think that they picked me up.
One question I have you never thought about hitting back your mother? Like,
Well,
I'm angry.
there
So,
was once where she just would not stop. It just was relentless. This is when I was on my own. And I think it was a couple of weeks before the actual day that I left. And it was just on and on and on and on and on and on
hitting?
until I think I broke. And I
Wow.
went to the kitchen and I got a knife and I ran to the top of the stairs and I said, if you come any closer, I'm going to stab you in your heart. So what did she do? She went back into the living room. She popped her head around the corner again and said, do you want a cup of tea?
Oh,
And I'm like, oh, yeah, okay.
a cup of tea.
What?
Yeah, I'll have tea.
What? She just went to the back of the corner and then appeared again. And she was another.
I
Oh
remember
my.
that
Wow.
forever. So she knew she pushed me then to the point where I was gonna do something.
Oh, yeah. Then be careful.
Oof! I was like, no, that's it. I mean, I'm quite a patient person. I think I've got endless amounts of patience for anybody. But that was literally, I was like, I'd rather go to prison right now. I don't care really. This has to end right now. And it did. I mean, it did work for about a week, and then this obviously that had made her so angry that
Oh.
she got me at the bottom of the stairs and with a knife at my throat, and I was like, we had these different signals for our neighbours. We had different tones of voices for how dangerous things were getting. And Auntie Nora, her name was. I remember this woman saved my life so many times.
Oh my God.
So I was like, Auntie Nora, this is quite serious now. And the police arrived, and two of the policemen had climbed through the front window, and then a police officer, a woman, started speaking Welsh through the letterbox.
Wow.
When my mother heard this Welsh language, she turned like a wolf, like this. And in that moment, the police came through, did the old on the floor, hands behind the back, and just turned to me and said, get out. So the last time I saw my mum, I stepped over her head, said bye bye, see you then. Went to the street, looked left, looked right, thought, which way should I go? So I went to the local telephone box. We used to have a telephone box in those days. And I waited for someone to pass and I asked them for 10 pence to make a phone call. And I phoned my sister and she sort of saved me, really. I was there for 6 months. Then I was 16. And then at 16, you can live on your own. So I applied to go to art college. I got in, and then that's where I started living as an adult person without fear, really.
Without, yeah, after that childhood, definitely you became such a strong person.
Well, I don't know about that, but
Yeah, now any
Totally.
problem won't be any like
no, you
will be like
see,
this, right? Near
yes,
the
that's it.
problems you went through your childhood.
Yeah. I mean, there are things that I resent. Obviously, I resent not being better than I am. I could have been so much better. I could have been
Why?
awesome. No, I could have been just something so confident. But, I don't have that confidence that I should have had. That, uh, 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 what's the word? Unconditional love gives you that kind of confidence that if you don't have it, um, you really do feel quite empty as a person. You
Mm.
have to find this somewhere else. And I don't have children, right? I think maybe the reason why I never had children was because of my upbringing. I never thought I would be a good mother. I never thought I would ever get married. I never thought I would ever live in a place longer than a year. So
Hmm,
everything in my life is always temporary because in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking, well, it's going to end. Something's going to happen. Something's going to be weird. I can't trust anyone. I can't trust this place. But eventually, after many, many years, you just relax and just once it isn't in your life all those every day, it just goes away, that feeling.
that's
So
good.
eventually, you have to.
So you said an interesting thing about unconditional love, which most of the people receive from their parents, but in your case you didn't. Um,
Yeah.
Even now you kind of miss it somehow, right? Like some
Yeah,
part of me
it's missing.
is which
I would love to have known what kind of child I was. I would love to know. I would love to have some pictures or, some kind of memories that I was a good kid or, what kind of was I a happy kid?
um, even from your sister you didn't receive even a little of this.
No, we were all fighting to survive, basically.
uh, oh, and right now you are married, right?
Yes.
And do you feel any of this uh, love you were talking about from, or
Yeah,
is it a different
kinda.
kind of love?
Yeah, it's still like I still expect it to end any minute.
What?
I still expect it to stop any minute now. I
What?
don't
What do
think
you
I don't
expect to
see
win?
a future. Yeah, my everything,
Your life?
everything. My greatest fear is being homeless. It's been
Hmm.
one of my worst fears. I've always thought, God, I've got no one. I've got no one to help me. I have to do everything by myself, and which I, pretty much have done all my life. So it's very difficult just to start depending on other people. Asking for
Hmm.
help is impossible. I never ask anyone for help ever. I try
Mm.
to do everything by myself. And, sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And people just go, why didn't you just ask? I'm like, oh, good point. I never thought of
Yeah.
that. Idea, I will, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
many people have that. How do you say? Uh,
Fear to ask help, isn't it?
yeah,
Kind
some
of.
people have that
um,
opportunity, right? They know who to count with, right? Who to
count on.
trust,
Yes.
how
Yeah.
to who to count on. But
Yeah.
I have kind of similar problem, but
Different
there's
reasons.
this tough part about trusting, who to
Yes.
trust, right? And
Yeah.
this kind of stuff, which is very
Yeah.
difficult
I
for
mean,
you.
when
And
I was younger, I wouldn't trust anybody. I would just beg someone, anyone, strangers in the street. Hello, do you want a kid? Take me.
Do you want a kid?
Yeah, I'm a good kid. I'll do the washing up, and I'll feed the dog, and take me.
you had that thought, or you actually
I
put
used
that
to
in
ask
practice?
people.
Yeah,
I used
really?
to ask
You
people.
you
Yeah, I
really
used
did
to go
ask
to
people?
people in the street.
And
Oh.
and what did they say? You're
Well, a
crazy.
couple of people wanted to adopt me. Yeah,
Oh, they did.
But
yeah, yeah, but
so what
obviously
happened?
it
Didn't
wasn't
happen.
allowed.
Oh.
Mm.
No. I know this sounds crazy, but I do think I was her favorite because I used to make everyone laugh. Because my thing was just like, if you make people laugh,
Mm.
you know, then we're going to survive. You know, if you cry in this moment now, then it really is deep down in the dirt. But if you can look at this and go, ah, you see the funny side of that, right? You see the funny side, then, it's okay. It was all right. Fine. It wasn't as terribly terrible as what was actually happening. So
Mm.
that's what I've done all my life, really, is just try and make people laugh.
So
Laughing, yes, good. Good
yeah,
thing,
that's a
laughing, yeah.
good thinking. Since when you had this thinking about making people laugh? Uh,
Since I was born.
since you were born.
Yeah, I think I looked around and went, oh, hell. Oh, no. What is this? I think that I knew straight away that
Mm.
I had to kick into survival mode very quick.
Yeah, it's like a kind of survival instinct, right?
Yeah, 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 absolutely.
Developing.
And I think this part of yours about making other people laugh helped you a lot, right? To
Yeah,
survive
yeah,
in your
yeah.
childhood.
I just love like happy people. I love being around happy. I don't like I cannot bear someone who starts a sentence like, "Oh no, you'll never guess what happened," and then it turns out to be nothing, right? You're like, "Well, why are you being so negative?"
Mm.
You've got a family, you've got everything you need, and this one thing that you get so down about is nada. And I always say to people, this moment will pass. You're not going to remember this in a couple of years. So don't give it any importance. It won't matter. It just don't,
Yeah.
and it doesn't matter in the end. It just passes. You get over it, you get through, and that's it.
Yeah,
Mm.
if you get through, you become a better person, a stronger person, right? It's all
Mm.
about
Yeah.
adaptation, I think.
I'm not sure if this is going to end. It says your call will end in under a minute. Is that right?
Yeah, we will have to rejoin here, I think. Let me
On
see.
Instagram? You mean? Ah,
Yeah,
yes.
No,
no, no, Instagram,
no.
no, on YouTube, the meetings that we are using.
The call is about to end.
Ah, yes. It's only 1 hour.
Can you
Ah, no, 40
extend?
minutes. It's 40 minutes. Um,
Yeah, it's ending right now.
I will
Right, you're right.
open
I
another
need
one.
you, yeah, another one and put live on
Yeah,
YouTube, please.
just a second. Return to just a second. I'm making another. So we will have to find maybe Zoom. Try Zoom next time because there is not this. WhatsApp. Okay. Click here. Oh. Oh, I sent to the wrong person. Oh my god. What? Yes, I sent. Okay. But you're on. Okay, we are back. Ok, we are, like I said, estamos ainda testando technical issues. Na próxima vez não vamos usar o Meeting, vamos usar, sei lá, Zoom ou alguma coisa assim.
Ok.
Bom, peraí, então recapitulando. Ah, não, foi muito grande a história, eu não vou conseguir recapitular tudo. Muita informação.
I know,
Mas,
I'm jumping around a bit, but it's...
Don't worry, I will put some subtitles later.
mas depois a gente. Mas ela teve uma infância sofrida, né?
That was the up to 15. That was the story. Then after 15, I went to art school because somebody told me that I was good at art. So I was like, okay, I'll go to art school, and I got in. And then I went to live in London to do my degree, my Bachelor of Arts, and that's where I sort of started my adult life and stayed until I was 40. Yes, I think I was 40 when I met my husband in London. He was working in the restaurant that I worked at, and after a year we went on a date, and the rest is history, as they say. And so we moved to Brazil last year, 10 years ago, and then we moved to Mato Grosso do Sul.
Mato Grosso do Sul.
In 2020, so 1 year I've been here. And yeah, the thing is that I love traveling. I love learning new languages. I love meeting new people. And here in Brazil, I feel like a bit of a star.
A star?
Yeah.
Yes, everyone makes me feel so
much
special.
love.
Yeah, I do feel very special here, and that's why I stayed here, because in England, really, it's everyone thinks England's like, oh, it's a magical place, but it's very difficult to live there. It's very expensive. The people are quite cold, you know, they're not like Brazilians. Brazilians are so open and warm, and you know, the majority, obviously. But you know, and I don't know, I just never thought I could never picture myself living in England for the rest of my life. I could just I'd think, well, my life is over. What's the point? That my life is over. I'm never gonna go anywhere else. I'm never gonna like learn new things. I'm never gonna experience new things. So what's the point?
When did you come to Brazil?
2011.
2011. All right. And when did you meet your husband?
Our first date, I'll tell you, was the 7th of July, 2007. 777. I always remember that. And our wedding anniversary was yesterday.
Oh, really? Congratulations!
It was great.
So,
did you do something special?
How many years?
I'll tell you what we did. We went to a lasso place.
Where?
Cowboys,
a cowboy
horses. It was just really, really great. Really nice.
Oh, I'm happy to hear.
Yeah, but so when I these people I'd never met before, but I was introduced as, she's British, you know, and everybody was, oh, you're British, oh, why are you here? So I don't know, maybe that's the unconditional part of me that's being filled by being here.
I believe
Hmm.
so.
because people think I'm a nice person, and
Yeah.
I feel a bit special.
Yeah, you
Yeah, I
are from a different country. You had
Yes,
that we have from our parents you never got, but now you have this attention, this special feeling. Do you feel like, I know it's not the same as a mother's love, but from your close friends, from your husband, do you feel that, how do you say, the love being filled up
I do
inside you?
now. I do now,
oh,
and the
great.
problem is that I it took me ages to accept it.
To
Oh,
accept
I
the
know.
love,
Yeah,
you mean?
yeah.
Um,
Just
maybe you receive it from some people, but you
I never
yourself
recognized
was,
it. I didn't
yes, you
know.
were.
Yeah, I never recognized it. I didn't know what it was
Mm,
until like I've been here for 10 years now, and I've got a friend, two, three friends
oh.
that I've known for 10 years.
Wow, that's amazing.
But
Friends can
before
be like family,
I
right?
don't know
Like,
anyone from my school. I don't know anyone from my town. I don't know anyone from London. I don't know anyone. I don't have any friends. I mean, obviously, I maybe if I called one or two of them, they go, "Oh my God, Mel, you're still alive." But it wasn't. It just didn't occur to me to stay friends with anyone ever.
what a surprise!
It took me. It took. Yeah, it took. It
yeah.
took coming to Brazil for me to realize that actually people do want me to call them. People do want me to go out with them. People do want me to spend an afternoon with them. But sometimes it's still quite difficult because
Wow.
Mm.
I feel like I'm
But they do
bothering
invite you, right?
bothering people. Yeah. And
Oh,
now
yeah, that's
I
something.
go like normal. I feel like I'm probably quite normal now.
Like
Well,
normal.
Yes. Yeah, no one could ever tell. No one will ever know. But it's
Oh,
not something you tell people, is it?
yeah.
It's not something that, so when people say, oh, you're here, oh, don't you miss your family? And I just go, they're all dead.
Yeah. Okay.
It's easier. It's just easier, you
Yeah,
know,
sometimes it's
than to start.
sometimes people
And I
doesn't know
can't
how
lie. I
to.
cannot lie. I get like a rash here when I start lying.
Oh,
It goes red, crawls up my face here. It's
is it to
weird.
identify, right?
Yeah, I'm like, what's wrong with your neck? I'm like, oh God, I'm trying to lie, okay? And everybody knows, everyone can tell. And if I even try to start being negative about anything, people just tell me off.
Oh,
They just go, no, stop that, stop,
mm,
stop it. I'm like, oh,
wait.
okay. Well, that person is always negative,
oh,
and you never tell them to stop, but it's because it doesn't suit me.
Oh shit.
oh.
It's not
The
my
camera on YouTube
personality.
froze. Ah, why they did.
Is it? It was working. Wow, my camera is working there,
Yeah, only
and
yours. Just a second.
oh
Why?
wow.
Why?
Oh
Why?
Okay. Now it's back. And mine is back as well.
Am I
no. Oh,
moving?
you are still moving. Oh yeah, everyone is back. You can see now.
I can't. I was trying to do something and then it froze. It's better to just leave it.
To leave? I know.
Yes.
Don't touch the
I won't
equipment.
touch it anymore. I was trying to find a link, but no, leave it.
No,
So
have you ever tried to say your history to some close friend, and have you ever felt that somebody could somehow relate it to you and understand you when you tell this history, or when you say, oh, I don't miss my family, I don't miss my country, how do they react if they don't understand, like?
I don't really say that. I don't say.
Do you think it's hard for people
Yeah,
to
they don't understand.
empathize?
Yeah, they just don't get it. And
Mm.
even when like I would my mother's a horrible person. Oh no, she's still your mother. You should go and see her. She's still your mum. I'm like, well,
Wow.
I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think it's a good idea. Just, so
What
she
do you
got
think about this kind of concept that just because this person has the title of mother, we have to love? But how to love someone that always keep doing evil things and hurting physically and emotionally
yeah,
somebody else?
yeah. I mean, it's you're just asking for to be in a terrible situation. So the best
Mm.
thing you can do is stay away from that kind of situation. You just stay away. You don't get involved. It's something that is not part of you anymore. You don't. I hate drama. I hate
Mhm.
people who look drama. Oh, did you hear my? Oh, honestly, go and tell someone else. I really don't care. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to get involved. It's nothing to do with me. And if that person is a nice person to me, then until they do something terrible to me, I'm not going to listen to you about anyone. It just, for me, it's a waste of time. You've got much better things to do in life than complain about other people. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's a horrible
Complaining
thing
about
to
other people, just go away. I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah,
So,
it's a good thing, not bad.
yeah, I want I want a happy, easy life. And that's it.
What would you be your message like for people that may listen this or are even watching us in live? What would be your message to when we are facing the hard time? Through
Uh,
your experience, what would be your inspirational message if you would like?
well, something that I found very helpful was that because when I left home, I didn't know how to react to normal situations, or I didn't know if that person was being a nice person or a bad person, or so I had no
Clue.
clue what I was doing, right? So how I sort of taught myself was that I used to think, well, how would my mother deal with this situation? So
Mm.
I would say, well, she would do this, so I would do the absolute opposite.
Yeah.
That's how I sort of got, oh,
Yeah.
let's see, now I'm doing the opposite. I'm getting a nice reaction from people,
Oh.
because whatever she did, I would just do, what, choo, the other side. So that's how I've sort of lived my life, really, is when you see bad things, do the opposite.
I
Don't
like
be
that.
don't be like that. Don't go that way. Just go the nice, the
Uh,
positive. Go the other way. If you don't want to be in that situation,
Mm-hmm.
switch it, flip it.
and but
What was that?
since you didn't have any examples of nice things to do, right? You had to do the opposite of what you use it to
Yes,
know from the
yeah.
bad. Can you like give an example of how you did the opposite in any situation?
So like, well, yes. I mean, obviously, I've made some strange choices in life, right? But
Yeah, I know. The opposite is not
like,
sometimes the opposite of what we think is the opposite.
yes.
Some, I know. I've been through that as well.
Yeah. So if if like there is an argument going on, for example, my mother would be straight in there with the attack, aggression. So I find myself being sort of smiling and
Not
being
attacking.
very calm in pressure situations. So there was one time where there was a big gang of us all in art college, a big school, and we was big friends, lots of friends would go out together, and we would go to stay at people's houses and have parties. And one of the girls had a little, I think he was about one, a little boy. He was about one at the time, yes. He was very small. And I remember that she wasn't, the ideal parent. She was loving and good, but she wasn't like, um, you know, maternal. You know what
Mm.
I mean? So the baby would like probably not be changed as regularly as he should have
Oh,
been, and the
no
house
level.
was a mess. And so I would go there and I would start cleaning. I would start cleaning up. I know why. And people are looking at me like I'm crazy, but I'm like, well, she's got a baby.
Oh,
So you all, you can't even see that there's little babies crawling around on the floor here. And this place is a mess. So you're just going to carry on, aren't you? You're all going to carry on and party, right? So
wow.
not me.
Not you.
I start cleaning. I'm doing the washing, and having a
Um,
beer as I'm doing it. Don't get me wrong. I'm having a beer and getting in, but I'm cleaning and I'm putting stuff away and I'm helping her and I'm watering the plants and brushing the floor, and people. And this was a very common thing. Like if Mel's in your house, she's gonna start cleaning. So one day we were there and I'm cleaning away, and then everybody starts watching a movie in the living room. I think it was Terminator or something like that. It's a very scary movie. And all the
yeah.
lights were on. Everybody was sitting around and I'm pottering away, cleaning and tidying. And then I just hear sort of this choking sound.
Oh,
Like, and I'm thinking, right, what's this now? What's happening now? And the classic example of doing the opposite of what my mother would do. She would have gone into a complete hysterical mess, screaming, shouting, and making the whole thing a million times worse.
oh,
So I
And what
remember
was the
thinking, right,
opposite of that?
what's the opposite? So I stopped what I was doing. I breathed. I took a breath. I was like, calm down, everyone, now. What's happening? And I just judged the room. I just looked around at everything that was happening, and I could see that there was someone picking up this child by the ankles
wow.
and waving it around, smacking the back of the. And I'm like thinking, now I'm going to just wait 2 minutes to see what's happening here. And then it's, for some reason, I don't know what took over my whole body, but I just went over, I said, stop, everyone. And I put my hand down the kid's throat and I pulled out something that they swallowed that used to be on the end of a light switch that you'd look like that to switch the light on. There was
Hmm?
like a little ball shaped
Oh,
and he
okay.
stuffed it in his mouth, but the wrong way round.
Oh my God.
So the fat end was stuck, so there's no way that he could have coughed it out. And I saw this in about 30 seconds.
Oh,
And I went and I
that's good.
got my fingers and I put my fingers in his throat and I pulled some of his throat tissue. I must admit, there was blood on my fingers, but I just went, nah, this isn't happening. And I pulled it out and that was it. This started breathing. He was going blue. His lips were going blue.
Oh my God, such a horrible time.
Right. And then I was like, okay. So they went to the hospital. He was fine. He had some scratches in his throat, but he was fine. And everyone was like, you saved his life. I was like, no, you are all idiots.
You are right.
You are all
That
absolute
was
idiots. What were
the.
you going to do? Just watch this kid die in front of you? You
Yeah.
know?
Well, they were trying their ways about saving, which were not working, but.
Right.
But something I just knew that that's what I had to do in that moment. I just knew that what you were smacking him and throwing him around by his legs, that's not going to work. So I was a bit of a hero for like a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So that was an example of me thinking, well, what would my mum do in this situation?
What's the opposite? Then what's the
Yeah,
opposite?
she would have gone completely out of control. She would have gone ballistic, made everything work. So I thought, well, she would have gone completely. So what have I got to do? I've got to be totally in control. I've got to take control of this situation, and I've got to deal with it. And I'm going to be the one who's going to stop this from happening. And I did it. It's a
Wow.
true fact, and I'm very proud of myself for doing that because
You
that,
should.
that child needed me in that moment. Do you know what I mean?
Amazing. Yeah, of course. So, do you think this experience you had from your childhood could shape
I would
you?
not have done it without my childhood. I would not have done that.
Yeah,
It would not have
Yeah,
occurred to
definitely.
me at all to do
great
that.
example
Most
of
people
how a
just
bad
don't put.
situation can bring positive things as
No,
well, right?
Yeah.
no,
And
they weren't. They were just like running around like headless chickens. And I was like, well,
well, that's
it's pretty
what
obvious to me.
yeah, what people usually do in a desperate situation. But you learn about
Yeah.
being in control in this kind of situations. So yeah,
Yes. Never panicking.
Never.
and that's a nice and interesting way to think, right? That you
Yeah.
developed it.
I think
Like it was not
yes.
something you were born with, but you train
No.
and you manage it
Because
to.
imagine if you if I panicked every day of my childhood. I
Yeah,
think I would have mental scars now. I think I'd be, quite an affected person if I panicked
Yeah,
every day
if you had a lot of
for all of
reasons
my
to
life.
panic every day, but
Yeah,
you
couldn't
still
panic.
manage it
Had
to.
Yeah, have to
yeah. I
stay.
see. I see this experience. It creates you kind of resilience and kind of
Yes,
strategical thinking when you
yes,
deal with difficult situations. You deal it much more calm because
yes.
you already passed through so much more difficult things that for you that's is nothing. Like wow,
No, and
that's
things
that's
don't
amazing.
get me down really. I mean, I'll open the fridge and there's no milk, and I go, "Oh, damn it!" But then I'll think, well, it's okay. I'll just put my shoes on. I'll go to the shop and I get more milk. Over. It's done. What's the big deal, right?
You
And then I
don't.
go home and then I'm happy then. I go, look, I got 2 bottles of milk. Woohoo!
Yeah,
Yeah.
that what I would like to also ask you. How do you keep this positive energy every day? Teach us like how to keep this positive thinking. How do you wake up so positive every day?
Well, I just think I'm so bloody lucky, aren't I? I've got like a lovely, beautiful husband, lovely little dog. I live in a great place. The weather is awesome. Obviously there are things that the pandemic sort of threw at us all, really.
Yeah.
But I thought, well, if I can't go to work, I'll bring work to me. And it was perfect. And I think at the end of the day, I am quite a spiritual person. I'm not like religious, obviously, for
Mhm.
obvious reasons.
Yeah.
Very like, well, nah, I'm not going to
Yeah.
go that way. But I
I
think
prefer
that,
to stay away from the
yes,
Bible. Okay.
yes. But I do think that I'm quite a spiritual person. I do believe that what you emit from your body, from your mind into the universe
You will receive
affects.
it.
Yeah, it's listening, right, and it affects what it gives you.
Hmm.
So,
Yeah.
do you want a horrible life or do you want a good life? Well, I would like a good life, please. So, what are you going to do? You're going to give the universe good thoughts.
Mm.
Um, and it seems to have worked. And I think I have a guardian angel.
Yeah, I think.
I could have gone down some very bad ways. I could have gone down roads but there's always been somebody there that
Mhm.
saved me.
Hmm.
Just in
Yeah.
that moment. They're just there in that moment. They come out of somewhere, help me, and then disappear again. Happens all the time.
Helping you
All the
to
time.
go through
Give you
the
kind of comfort.
bad period, bad times of your life.
Yeah.
But
When
in during these
when I'm on
bad
the bottom.
times, have
Yeah.
you never thought maybe I will do something bad, go to the wrong way? Have you ever thought about it? But then this guardian angel maybe helped you in that way, or?
No, it's not. I mean, like, so you split up with your boyfriend, right? And you have to leave your house. But how you don't? I can't drive, right? I've never learned how to drive. how am I going to get all my stuff out of this house? And how am I going to do it? And then someone will just pop up.
Wow.
One guy was from my local the shop on the corner of my street. He just came out of the back of the shop and went, "I'll help you."
Wow.
Like that.
This happened to me as well once as well. Just suddenly, right? It seems
Yeah.
like, wow, someone is looking for me.
Yeah.
I'm not alone.
Yeah. And it just happens quickly, and then you don't have to. They don't want anything from you. They just
Yeah.
want to help you.
It's
And
it's something so sincere, right?
Yeah.
Like he's like an angel. Oh, just
is.
that and that saved me today.
It is like an angel comes down and helps you for no reason whatsoever.
I'm so
And
happy
it doesn't
that
happen
you
to
also had
everybody.
these experiences. Wow.
It doesn't happen to everyone.
No.
I think
If you cannot be grateful or notice, you won't understand,
No,
right?
exactly. And I think
Observation.
and you have you
You
have
need
to
to
be
keep
really
vigilant for
conscious.
everything to find
Yeah,
the right path to follow, right?
yeah, yeah.
Otherwise,
And
like you always said, oh, I would end up in Cracolândia.
What?
exactly, I would end up in Crackerlandia.
Always love
Crackle.
No
that.
teeth. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's very straight. Like another example of this is that when I first got to, well, since I've been, I think it happened when I was about 11, I think. So she smacked me in the face and broke my tooth here, this
Wow.
one. And after about, there's only so much um, damage you can do, and then eventually the root of my tooth was broken here. So
Wow.
I couldn't, the NHS there wouldn't fix it because it was a massive job, right? And I, here is cracked here, and I hated my teeth, and eventually this one fell out, had to come
Oh
out.
my God.
I know, the worst thing
Yeah, especially
ever.
the front one that we see it,
Yeah.
right? Like, look at I smile now.
And I still have dreams of my tooth falling out. It's awful. And
Nightmare.
so, and this was something that I really, really resented because every time I looked at my face, I saw a
Hmm.
reminder of her,
Hmm.
the thing, the beast.
Right.
Mm.
So when I got to Brazil, I met a girl in school. She wasn't there for long. She was there for a couple of weeks. I met her. We got quite close in a couple of weeks, and then she said, "Oh, I know a dentist."
Wow.
I was like, "Oh, really?" She said, "It's like 2 minutes from your house." I was like, "Wow, okay." So she
Really?
took me and she introduced me to the best dentist ever. And I spent 10 years going to that dentist, and he fixed all my teeth.
So lovely.
It doesn't look like anything happened, right? So,
No.
like, this is something that's really made me feel amazing, right? Because
Yeah.
now I can look at my face and think, "Yep, that's how I'm supposed to look," and I'm not reminded of it every single day anymore.
Yeah.
So this
The
girl,
bad
I don't know her
news.
anymore. I don't know her anymore. I don't have a no. I don't know where she is. So she came along. She picked me up. She dropped me off, and then this happened.
Wow.
You are
That is
guardian
not
angels
right.
during your
Right?
life.
There's no explanation for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So that's pretty
Right.
much my story, really. I mean, without going into little tiny details,
Mhm.
um, I think you've got the idea, really.
Yeah. Very, very interesting. Very, very tough, I would say.
Yeah. But
And
I mean, look at the people that are put in home. They are. I mean, they don't come out normal.
mm,
Yeah. Not
They
everyone can go through that.
no. I mean, I'm very lucky that I all the choices that I might have made some bad choices, but always came back to being I lived a good life. I've never been homeless. I've never been poor. I've never been, desperate.
Mhm.
I've always worked. I've always looked after myself. I've always been able to climb out of whatever rubbish life throws at you. And I think life throws rubbish at everybody.
Yeah.
And I think it's not what you get thrown, it's how
Yeah.
you react to it.
Do you
What
think?
you
I'm sorry. Do you think that you you've got all of these and you overcame all the fears you had? Like you never was homeless. That was your biggest fear.
Well, I still have that. I will always have that. That fear.
Mm.
That I have dreams about it all the time. That I'm homeless. I know it's horrible. I don't know why. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird.
Yeah. But do you think that what brought you to the a good life that you consider yourself in a good life, right?
Yeah.
What brought you there was some desire that you really wanted to have a different life, you really wanted to survive, you really wanted to be happy.
You
What
know
what
what though? I've never given it any thought whatsoever. I've never thought until you
what
said
kept you going on?
So you
no.
never made any plans,
No, no.
and nowadays, do you still don't make many plans? You live every day like, okay,
It might be my last.
this might be my last.
Live like the
I'll live
last
Well,
today.
and sometimes
Uh,
people say, "Well, God, you must be so adventurous, or you must be, But living every day just for the day, you don't have. Doesn't mean I'm going to climb a mountain every day. I'm going to do this next week. I'm going to do that. No, I mean lying on the couch and watching Netflix series is one of the best days ever, right?
yeah.
Stuffing yourself with chocolate cake you're not supposed to eat is the best day ever. So it's
Yeah.
not, for me, living the day that like you you could die tomorrow and be happy. It doesn't have to be like, oh, I'm so adventurous.
Mm.
Just get like sometimes I'll wake up in the morning and then I'll say, right, I've got this, this, and this, and this to do. If I can complete these things by 7 o'clock, I'm going to have a gin and tonic, right? And then that will be
Oh.
my little thing, and then that gin and tonic will be the best gin and tonic ever.
Oh, I like that.
Because I accomplished things that day, and I feel really proud of myself for doing it.
Kind of reward,
yeah,
right? At the end of
small
the
steps,
day.
baby steps.
Yeah, baby steps. That's right. But I get overwhelmed very easily. I get
Hmm.
quite overwhelmed.
By
I can
what?
be by having too many things to do.
Uh,
I don't want a busy life. I want to be relaxed. I want to be chilled. I don't want a career. I don't want stress. I don't want to fight other people to get into a higher position for anything. That's not for. I don't drive.
Hmm.
I've never
Yeah, it's
worked.
stressful.
I'm outside all of that. I look in on these people and think, wow, driving. That's bloody stressful, isn't it?
A little bit.
Not for me. So I
I do like to be the passenger side, just admire the views and best.
it. That's it. I've never had to pay for gas. I've never had to pay taxes on a car. For me, it's like, oh, I've never really needed to drive.
Hmm.
So, I think everything about me is like, here's the group of it, and then I'm here. I've always been, it's always been. I'm just on the outside looking in. I'm never in. I'm just outside.
Hmm.
And that's where I prefer to be honest.
Yeah, I think
Interesting.
what
I don't
makes
want to
you
be.
happy, it's the place where you should be, right?
Yeah, I don't want to be in the crowd. I don't want to be part of any gang or friendships or you know groups of people. That's why for me social media is very difficult because I just don't. I'm not interested. I just don't want to know. I don't want
Yeah.
to know anyone. I don't want to get to know anyone. I don't want to make friends with anyone.
I'm
It's
happy
really
the
so
way I
nice.
am. Why?
Yeah.
Why do I need
And
to?
I've got other things I'd rather do with my hands, right? I can make. I'm an artist. I love to make crochet. I love to make stuff. I love to cook. I love cleaning, obviously.
Obviously, right?
um, there's like 10 million gazillion things you can do instead of sitting on your phone.
Right. You're definitely living the real life at the present, doing
Yeah,
things
yeah.
happening. You know?
So, but I get told off a lot for not going on social media. Oh, but you should sell your crochet on social media. I'm like, oh, can't be bothered.
Oh my god.
Can't be bothered. Sorry.
Yeah, maybe you can hire someone so
Yeah,
they do that
yeah,
job for you
yeah.
to
They can
sell.
just like make a mask of my face.
Yeah.
Just hold it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we did here. We put your face on
Yeah, just put
the
my face on someone
yeah,
else's body.
on somebody else's body.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So I mean, at the end of the day, I hate this cliche, but there is only one life, and it doesn't matter what you're given, what you think is a bad thing. It isn't, because everybody has bad times. Everybody's given. Even rich people, they will tell you, being rich isn't, easy life. It still it comes with all its problems as well. So
Yeah.
life itself isn't easy. The whole thing isn't easy for everybody. There is no one person you can talk to in this world that says, I have never had any problems. Ever. No.
Yeah.
Everybody has. And it is how you react to it, not what the problem is, because everyone's got them. So
Hmm.
it's what you as a person need to take from life is how you are going to react to it. How
Right.
you are going to give
Yeah,
the
you could
impression.
complain about it all day, or you could do something to
Yeah.
resolve it, right? To solve the problem.
Mhm. And laughing makes makes the world go round, I think.
Yeah.
I,
Love makes everything much smoothly, right?
Do
yeah,
you know a lot
you
of
know,
jokes?
I yes, I do.
Oh yeah, of
Yeah.
course. What?
How do dogs send messages?
How do dogs send the messages? E aí, Mari?
Email.
Female.
E-mail?
Yeah.
Oh,
Female.
Oh,
That's
so yeah,
great.
you have to know that P is
yeah.
she.
Shishi. Shishi.
Female.
Yeah, sorry about that, but I thought of that one this morning, so I thought, we can tell somebody a new joke.
yeah, that's an English joke.
Yeah,
How
Yeah.
do you translate to Portuguese?
I was thinking that shishi mail, no,
Xixi-mail?
email, no,
Yeah.
Bamija mail. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore.
Well, I'm just like to one more question. Like, what kind of message would you give to Brazilians that are crazy about to going to Europe, and now you are the opposite? You came from Europe as well.
Do it,
So
do it, go, do it for yourself. Just do
it
it.
was.
Just do it anyway. Do whatever. If the only thing, the thing that will definitely happen if you do nothing is nothing. If you do a little something, a little something will happen. If you do nothing, you are definitely nothing's gonna happen. So you might as well do something, and then something will definitely happen. So if you sit around going, oh, I don't know, why should I live here? Well, just if you don't want to live here, go somewhere else. Try it. Do it.
Yeah, there's a great example beside you.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, just do
yeah.
it. Don't even think about it. Just do it. You'll be all right. Everyone will be all right. Be a nice person. Treat people well. Treat people how you want to be treated, and you're gonna have a great time.
I
That's the
think
best.
another great message that at least I have learned, is that there are a couple things you didn't receive when you were a child, But like you said, it's up to us to do what we can with what we have. If we like that, o ditado, se a vida te dá limões, faça uma limonada, né?
Ah, yes.
Have you
When the
heard
world
about
gives
it?
you lemons,
Yeah.
make your lemonade. Exactly.
Yes, and
Yeah.
like I didn't receive unconditional love like most people do, but what can I do without it? I can do. You can do a lot of things. You have done a lot of things, right?
Yeah.
What can I give to the world, right?
Yeah.
What
Yes.
I have, with what I have.
Yeah.
That's the point, I think.
Yeah, that's very, very interesting. There are a couple, like, some people don't have money, but they can still do a lot of things. Yeah,
Yeah.
Exactly.
so goes on.
Yeah.
I have some things I didn't receive, but yeah, I'm kicking in.
Yeah,
I'm doing
exactly.
great.
And everybody has a story. Everyone.
Yeah.
You're not the only one. We're not the only ones with stories. Everyone's got one.
Yeah. That's why we want to hear everyone's story. If you also have some story that you would like to share with us, just write it down or let your email. We would love to hear and inspire much more people to show the world that we're here surviving and doing our best as we can every
Yeah.
day. Important thing is to
Be
enjoy
positive.
life as it
Be
is.
positive in life, and positivity will come to you. That's obvious. Obvious. People who
Yeah.
don't do that will complain about everything all the time. So some people you can't help because people do like to be in misery. People
Yeah.
do actually enjoy being miserable. Well,
Yeah.
that's up to them. But what they're missing out on, it's a fantastic world really that we live in. Human beings are amazing, amazing creatures, and we should respect each other as such, right?
Yeah.
Amazing creatures. Well, unless you're evil,
Yeah. Wash away the
Yeah,
way.
there are
then
always.
you can go live in an island.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm so happy that you were so brave to share your history here
Oh,
for so
no
many
problem.
people that are listening us, was listening to us, and
Will.
will listen to YouTube in the future. So we're very happy with your presence here, with your good energy. I hope everyone could feel this
Thank
energy.
you.
You exhalate this energy. I,
Oh, thank
you can
you.
make everyone's days much better just with your presence. I
Yeah,
know because sometimes I was so down and we had the classes at night and you just made my day much better just by talking to you, just by interacting, learning English.
yeah.
It's always fun to be
and
with you. You are
and
an amazing person.
you also have such a beautiful smile. It's easy.
Thank you.
Yeah, Mari has a great smile.
Smile, right? It's
Too
so
big
nice.
mouth. Sorry for that, babe.
Well, really a lovely, lovely pleasure to meet you as well, Nicholas. Thank you for
Yes, it
listening.
was a really great pleasure to meet you. I didn't know you, right? We are
Yeah,
meeting first time right now,
yeah,
and it
yeah.
was. We'll. I, I'll. Do you have Instagram? Yes, you have, and
Yeah,
then we'll keep in touch.
yeah, maybe if you're lucky.
If I'm lucky. I'm definitely lucky.
Hey, sì, perché sto falando.
Yo. Yeah. So
Okay.
I think that's it for our interview with Mel. And I don't know if there's anyone watching us right now and would like to do some questions. Is there? I really don't know.
I have no idea.
I would have
Yeah.
to open the YouTube and I'm afraid it will freeze
Yeah.
the image.
Okay, I'm watching here the chats. Congrats, many congrats here for us.
Oh,
It's great to be here and doing this. And well, if somebody has some questions, also later we can reply, right?
I will keep my eye on the comments.
Okay.
And we'll leave. You said you're an English teacher, right?
Yes.
So if anyone uh, wants an English teacher,
Yes.
we'll leave uh, your contact below,
Perfect. That
and
would be
we.
lovely.
And if anyone wants crochet as well,
Yay!
Oh,
crochet.
The
What
yeah,
best.
else?
she's an artist. Oh my god, I should see her paintings. It's fabulous, really
Uh,
fabulous.
right. We'll leave all the contacts down below in the description of the YouTube and podcast. I don't know where else we are
Yeah.
uh,
Huge
promoting.
podcast on Instagram.
But
We will
no,
love
it's a lovely thing that you're doing. So I support it 100%, and
Thank you.
I will definitely pass this on to people who don't know me, probably. Like, oh, I didn't know that about you, Mel.
Oh,
Yeah, now
good.
a lot of people are getting to know more about you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're so brave, and you're here collaborating to this happening. We're really grateful, and I believe many people will be as well
Oh,
to hear
well,
that and be motivated to keep going. Right?
yes, yes, never give up.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mel. Thank you so
Thank
Thank
much,
you
Lee.
again.
you.
Nice to
This
meet you.
beautiful background for us here on YouTube as well.
And
Have
but
a good night.
o
I'm sorry.
português já tá bom?
Mais ou menos.
Mais ou menos. Yeah. Depois a gente conversa em português. Vai
Ok, vamos
treinando
ver.
português.
Meu português está ótimo.
Ótimo.
Pensamento positivo, tá ótimo.
É, peso positivo.
Isso aí.
Okay, guys.
Tá bom?
Hey,
Thanks a lot.
love you guys.
Bye bye.
Bye.